Hi, this is Fred from Orisha. Today we're going to show you how to adjust your limit switches on your roll-up motors. All you're going to need is a screwdriver and a friend. Why is it important to set up your limit switches? Well, your limit switches make sure that no matter how long Orisha sends current to your motors, there's always going to be some mechanical switch as a safeguard to make sure that your motor is not going to go too low or too high, and that could cause damage to your greenhouse. To adjust your limit switches, the first thing you're going to want to do is unscrew the both screws on your motors, just to be able to turn the little wheel here. And so the red line here is what we call the limit switch. It is what actually shuts down the motor with the limit switch. There's going to be a black line on the wheel at the top, and what actually shuts down the motor is aligning that red line with the metal part that we see here. Let me just 1 second. So we can see the red line now is going to click with the motor. So when it clicks like that, it's going to stop the motor. One of them is going to stop the motor on the way down, and one of them is going to stop the motor on the way up. So now we want to know which one of the limit switches stops the motor on the way down. To do that, you're going to have to ask your friend inside the greenhouse to put the switches on the box to manual, and to take the switch with the arrows and make the motor go down. Now for me, I guess that since the motor is this way, the lower limit switch is going to be to stop the motor on the way down, but depending on how your motor is set up, it might not be as clear as that. But to make sure that it's really this one, what we're going to do is go to the motor and just roll the limit switch until it actually stops the motor by making it click, just like that. So now we can really confirm that this lower limit switch here stops the motor when it's going down. So now that we know which limit switch stops the motor when it's going down, what we're going to do is make the motor go to the lowest point, and we're going to stop the motor again when it's at that point. So now we just reached the lowest point, so we're going to make the motor stop again, just by making it click again. And there you go. You now set up the lowest point for your roll-up motor by setting up the lower limit switch. What you want to do, just to save that location, is to screw back the screw here, and that's just going to make sure that every time that your motor goes as low as that limit switch is going to stop your motor. And now we just have to do the same thing for the upper limit switch by having your friend inside the greenhouse make the switch go up, and so that's going to make your motor go all the way up to the point where you want your roll up to stop, and that's where we're going to screw the other limit switch at that location to make sure that it stops mechanically your motor at that point. So for this setup, we had our multifunction unit in the greenhouse in manual mode to open and close the roll-ups. It's important to put it back in auto, and you might have to time your opening and closing time again on your motors just to make sure that it's actually the good one, because the highest point and lower point of your motor might have changed. So you can go back in the app to enter the new opening and closing time, and you're good to go. Big thanks to les urbainculteurs that greeted us at their greenhouse today and let me play with their limit switches.